Now on the Newsmaker line, we have Shelly Luther. She's calling in from someplace in Texas. We don't know where.
We're actually standing out poll greeting in Denison, Texas.
In Denison, Texas. All right. Well, you are running for the Texas State House. And right now, I believe you have at least one or two primary opponents. Is that correct?
I have one.
Okay. So it's up to you guys, particularly those of you that are up in the North Texas area that are listening to this, all of my friends in that area, Dallas, Fort Worth. Even if you're not in particular in her district, call your friends that are in her district and get her out. And that's House District 62, I believe.
It is. It's Delta, Franklin, Fannin, and Grayson counties.
So all you guys up there, if you live in those counties, early voting has started. And you can go out and vote. And I don't know how it is up there. I can tell you down here, when I showed up to vote yesterday, of course, I showed up like 7:05, and I was the first guy in Houston to cast a vote, I believe. So I don't know how it is up there for you guys.
It's really busy here in Denison. The people are really coming out to vote, and we're getting a lot of good, thumbs up and cheers and things like that. So it's looking good here in Denison, Texas, for sure.
Well, I'm really, really glad that you're running again. And of course, what brought you into politics was when our czar, our fearless leader, Greg Abbott, said that you were not important and you were not necessary, and you therefore had no right to earn a living. Did I mischaracterize that at all, Shelly Luther?
No, not really. And not just me. He basically picked winners and losers and told some Texans that what they did to earn a living and feed their kids was not important and not essential. And we just didn't stand for it.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't. And you got arrested. You actually went to jail.
Oh, yeah. I went to jail. It was over a 3-day period, but 48 hours total. And in a pretty disgusting jail in downtown Dallas.
Yeah, so tell us what that experience was like, because you're not a hardened criminal, Shelly Luther. You're just a business owner. You like to make people look good. So what was it like to be there?
It was a pretty surreal experience. Obviously, first, I'm a big rule follower. My dad's a 26-year Marine veteran, and I was a school teacher for 13 years. So, I mean, I have no problem with rules. But when it came down to protecting us from this government overreach, I felt like we didn't have a choice. And as far as jail is concerned, I pregnancy tests, strip searches, body cavity searches, the entire thing. They did not. This was not a fluff experience by any means. It was the full deal.
Well, the pregnancy test, that's so that if you do get pregnant while you're in jail, they'll have a better idea who the father is.
I guess so. Or the taxpayers should pay for it or something. Who knows? It's
insane. Well, Shelly Luther, you decided to take a stand. You went to jail. And then Danny Boy Patrick stepped up and helped you out, I believe.
Well, he did. He offered $7,000 because that's what the judge gave me, 7 days in jail and $7,000 fine. And he offered to sit in and do house arrest, and also paid $7,000, a fine that we didn't end up having to pay, but we definitely had several $1,000s worth of attorney fees.
Yeah, and I don't guess he paid those for you.
No, I wish.
Has anyone stepped up to cover those fees for you?
Well, what's crazy is we were able to, when the 2 full nights that I was in jail, someone started a GoFundMe, and we ended up getting about $500,000 in a bank account. So
Woo-hoo!
we were actually able to pay the attorney fees, but we gave away about $250,000 worth of that to businesses that were trying to open against the shutdown, to waitresses, that were, single moms trying to just put food on their table. We would leave a $1,000 tip.
Other unworthy individuals, according to Greg Abbott.
Exactly. All the deplorables, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, me and 20 of my friends, we got kitted out. We're all militia members. And we got kitted out. And we went down and helped a barbershop open up here. And we did that because of the same deal. And the guy said, "Look, man, I'm starving to death here. And so we showed up down there, and somebody said there was a riot and a robbery at this barber shop. So the sheriff came by. A couple of sheriff's deputies came by with full rigs, and they pulled up, and they quickly ascertained this was not what they were told it was, and they asked us, "What are you guys doing?" They said, "We're just here making sure that the barber shop gets open and then he can cut some hair." And the sheriff's deputy said, "Well, carry on then."
Perfect. And thank you guys for doing that, because that's what's going to happen when the government has overreach like this. Is regular citizens have to stand up and say, "You know what? I've read the Constitution, and you cannot keep someone." You can't take their property as what it is without due process.
Well, so this is the impetus that made you decide to get involved in politics. And I think it was Cicero that said, you may not be interested in politics, but politics is interested in you. And
exactly.
And somebody
That's exactly
else,
what happened.
And somebody else also said that if you refuse to get involved in politics, you'll be ruled by your inferiors, Shelly Luther.
I totally believe that. Politics was not ever on my radar my entire life. I never thought of being a politician, wanted to be in politics. But when I got this platform, not on purpose, but when we were given this platform, a lot of people were looking to me for help and for change, and I couldn't ignore it.
Well, Shelly Luther, I've been one of your early supporters, and I remain one of your supporters, and I am appalled that you even have a primary challenger, especially when it's so important that we replace an incumbent that has proven himself not to be a friend to Texas or Texans. And so I wanted to give you some airtime today because I wanted people to understand the importance of getting out and voting in this primary election. And
the primary is the most important. We don't even have a Democrat challenger, so this is the Super Bowl right here going on right now. And even if you've never voted in a primary and you've only voted in presidential elections, that's fine. Come out and vote. All of these people that are not involved, this is when you need to vote right now, because we have Republicans, like you said, that are telling you one thing but going to Austin and doing something totally different. So we need some big-time change happening here.
We really do. I'm a Republican precinct chair, and I've been a precinct chair for a long time, and I've been involved in the Republican Party for a long time also, but I am fed up with Republicans that act like Democrats. I'm fed up with Republicans that don't support the Constitution.
Absolutely. I just don't understand why we have Democrats as committee chairs in our Texas House. Why my opponent also voted to make voter fraud a misdemeanor when it was a felony. I don't understand those things.
I understand those things because we have corrupt Republicans. That's why we have these problems. So that's why you need to elect somebody like Shelly Luther and put her in the State House. And, you know, I call it the Pink Palace up there in Austin because it's made out of pink granite and everyone in there thinks they're royalty. But Shelly Luther is going to go up there and she's going to stand up for you and what you believe because she has been a member of Texas society. She's been out there working hard, and you have created a lot of jobs for other people too, Shelly Luther.
I don't want to take all the credit. I just know that I am a voice, and I want to make sure that everybody that wants to earn a living can do that. And we should not. The government should be the last entity stopping people from wanting to make a living.
You are absolutely right. And so I want to thank you for being on here today. We had Louis Gohmert on here today, too. So you got to...
Oh, yeah, that's got to be a great show.
It was a great show. That'll be up later on YouTube, as will this be up later on YouTube. And, you know, Shelly Luther, once again, give me the counties that you're running in. I want to make sure if you've got any friends in these counties that you call them now and tell them you got to get out and vote for Shelly.
It's Grayson, Delta, Franklin, and Fannin County in Texas. And if you have any questions or want to get a hold of me, go to Luther4Texas.com, the number 4.
Luther, the number 4, Texas.com, Luther4Texas.com. Get out there. This is a great lady. And I've had a chance to hear you speak several times, and you're not a stranger to this show either. But we are supporting liberty. You're supporting liberty. And we need people like you in the Texas State House, Shelly Luther.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
You are certainly welcome. All right, guys, we're going to be right back.